I mean, after all, I'm going to go to my other love, music. Music comes up with new blends, and you have the birth of brand new music types that we never heard of a generation or two ago. Why not brand
Hmm.
new book types? So
Exactly. I mean,
we
I
just
immediately flash on David Bowie, who just mixed genres all the time. He was never just a pop star or a rock star or a glitter star or whatever. Bowie would do it all and sometimes do it all multiple times on the same album. So let's all be
exactly.
Bowie.
There you go. I like it. New motto for all of us. Let's all be Bowie.
That's right.
I like
So I'm gonna get buttons made. There's a little Bowie in all of us.
it. Oh, that's great. So you say you first published your book, the first book you ever published, you were age 50, which you and I have in common because I was also 50 when I published my first books.
Hmm.
Um, but like you, I had been writing all my life. Now, most of my writing was post-it notes and ideas that got started but never finished. And then finally I said, okay, look, I'm finally going to finish and I'm going to get this done. But I'm sure your path took a little, maybe a different slant.
Yeah, I mean, everybody takes a different path. I was writing stories about my stuffed animals when I was very little on scrap paper, and nobody read those. And then when I was in middle school, I started writing a novel, and I would show chapters to my friends, and I would spend my Spanish classes looking like I was taking notes, but actually writing a book.
I
The
love that.
idea of writing just kind of, yeah. Well, it looks like you really are being very diligent with your note taking,
Yes.
but in fact, writing a novel. Most teachers are not suspecting that that's how you're actually spending your
Yeah.
time.
They're like, wow, she's hanging
Um,
on my every word. She is
because
really,
look at all these
what a great
notes.
student.
Does one need this many notes for Spanish class? Like, I don't know.
The mischievous person in me loves that.
Yes. And I feel very warm-hearted also that like I was writing these chapters and then my friends would say we want to read the next chapter. I mean, it's not exactly, people slavering down at the docks for Dickens' next book, right? Like which is what they would do back in the day. And Charles Dickens would have a new book and people would be clamoring on the docks for it to arrive on the ship from England. But it was my little version that my friends would be like, "What's the next chapter?" And if they couldn't get the next chapter, we would talk on the phone, and I would read the chapter to them. So like that was just very I was very warm hearted about that. But I think something when I started taking it a little more seriously, I became very shy about the writing in a way that I hadn't been before, and I was just afraid to show it around to a lot of people, and I didn't accept criticism well, and I still have some various scars on my heart from the way that I reacted to some genuinely good-hearted criticism, but just like not the right kind of criticism for me or the genre I wanted to write in. So it just took a long time. And then, life happens and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, this is the thing I've always wanted to do. You better get going on it because life is passing you by. And it wasn't really into my 40s that I started really putting my back into it. I had tons of stuff written. I had fan fiction written. Like it's not like I hadn't had this stuff building up, but I hadn't taken it out and shown it to people and decided that rewrites were necessary and how to do those rewrites and the whole emotional way to separate yourself from your own writing. This is not my ego. This is just a story, right? Um, and when I was in my 40s, I started going to small time, not Comic Con size things, but small time science fiction fantasy conventions and meeting other writers who were doing the same thing I was and learning from them and just becoming gradually more comfortable with taking this stuff out and showing it around. And of course, every time you show a new story to a new person who's very important and who's either going to critique it or potentially publish it, like, of course, you're still nervous.
Mm-hmm.
But once you feel comfortable enough with your writing, you know that even if it's not working for them, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. And and you also have a greater feeling about now I have the tools with which to fix this.
True.
So yeah, so I mean, like, and the thing is, I got an agent, and the agent did not initially get me a publishing deal. It took me writing another two books before she got the publishing deal for my first book. So it has to be one of these things when you're a writer that you are willing to not just be committed to writing regularly, but continually pushing that envelope and pushing that door open and pushing and pushing and pushing until somebody says, yes, we actually want that. And
Right.
for some people it happens very quickly, and for some people, like you and me, it takes a lot longer. So you just
True.
never know what's going to what the path is going to be.
Absolutely.